up all night, so I love you guys. Woo! When I don't seem blind, and when I meet people, sometimes it shocks them or they're uncomfortable, and sometimes they'll say to me, "Wow, you can't see me? How many fingers do I have up?"
5.
I'm like, "No, I can't see you." And I try to be polite, and I'm like, "I just can't see at all." But there's a little smartass that lives up in my brain here that wanted to say, "How many fingers do I have up?"
1, 2.
And then there's some people that will tell me, "Wow, you don't look blind." And I'll be polite again, and I'll say, "Thank you." I take that as a compliment. But that little smartass, she's like, "What the hell is a blind person supposed to look like?" I mean, I have my dark glasses and the cane, but those are for outside when I'm walking, not inside. Or am I supposed to have white eyes? You know, I just don't understand it. I hope you guys are not as uncomfortable around a blind person. And if you are, I hope after tonight you never are. Matter of fact, I think everybody should have a blind friend. And I'll tell you why, there's a lot of, well, we're awesome, but there's a lot of perks to it. You know, we get handicapped parking, we get to go in lines in front of the lines at the airport. You know, there's a lot of perks. If we go over to your house, just spray some Febreze and we're fine, it's clean. You don't have to worry about it. Or you can even come to the door naked and I won't be fazed. But most of all, the best part about having a blind friend, I think, is our stories, because they're real and they're funny. Just a couple quick ones. I took the neighbor's cat. I had her for 4 days and I thought she was mine. You know, she felt the same, heard the same, ate the same. And one time I hit the neighbor child, spanked the neighbor child, and my son was like 4 feet away just laughing his ass off. So you won't be bored with a blind friend. One of my favorite stories is I had 4 kids. At that time, I think they were like 14, 12, 7, and 5. And the older boys made me a bath so I could relax. And I was a single mom working all day. And I soaked in that bathtub. I loved it. But the next morning, I took the 5-year-old and the 7-year-old to the store. We walked. I had one on one hand, one on the other. And we walked to the store. As we go to the entrance, they're pulling me back. And they're like, "Mom, we can't go in here." I looked at the 7-year-old and I said, "Why?" He said real fast, he spoke real fast. He said, "Because you're purple." And I was like, "What?" And the little 5-year-old is a girl. She says, "No, Andrew, Mom's not purple, she's violet." And I was like, "What?" The guy behind me, a few feet back from me, said, "Yes, ma'am, you're violet." And I of course, rushed home, you know. And I was so mad. The little ones would not tattletale. They would not snitch on their brothers. So when I got home, I found out they had put grape Kool-Aid in my bath water the night before. And that shit stains. Let me tell you, I still have parts of my body that are still purple.
Wow.
I mean, you want to get somebody to do that. But I realized, learning here at Churchill's with my comedy, is that I can't make it all about being blind. Otherwise, you can't relate. So I'm going to tell some stories that happened before my vision was bad enough that I couldn't drive anymore. The first one is, I told you, I had 4 kids. At that time, the older one was 12, the next one was 10, and then so on and so on. Well, the 12-year-old was sitting in the front seat of the van. The 10-year-old was sitting in the back seat. I'm driving down the highway. I glance back at Danny, and he's jacking off. He's masturbating, 10 years old. And I'm a single mom, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm shocked. I'm whole squeezing the steering wheel. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to damage him for life or whatever. So I just said, "Danny." And he said, "Just don't worry about it." He said, "Just don't worry about it." And he didn't even miss a stroke. I was like, oh shit. Finally, the 12-year-old easily says, he turns around to his brother and says, "Danny, you can't beat off driving down the highway." And Danny goes, "Okay." And he just stopped. And I was sitting there going, wow, I skated through that one. I mean, but that was before I went blind. He's going to kill me for telling that story. The other story, my last one, is
That's comedy.
yeah, it's real. This one is like right before I gave up my license. It almost made me give up my license. I was driving the same van, and a guy on a bicycle pulls out, and I hit him. And underneath the van, I heard boom, 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 boom. And I was like, oh shit, I just killed somebody. You know, my first reaction was to press the gas and take off, you know? That was my first gut reaction, I remember that. But I couldn't, you know, there was, I guess the Christian part of me, I just couldn't do it. So I stopped the van, I get out, and it was the bicycle that was under the van, not the person. The person was like 3 feet away, right? So he's laying there, not moving at all. His eyes were closed. I go in the back of the van, and I pull out my blanket, and I put it over him, and I just touched his knee, and I said, Lord, please don't let this man die. I mean, I was scared to death. I said, Lord, please don't let this man die. He popped his eyes open, stuck his head out, and said, don't pray for me, bitch. Scared the shit out of me, and I kind of stopped driving after that. Thank you all.
Give it up one time for the blind.